Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Scale Riders Podcast, episode number 229. I'm your host, 65 Locs, checking in with you guys, see how you guys are doing. Man, a lot of new things dropping this week. Super excited. We yesterday got a restock of some God Hand products. There's these, they're the model, the PN125 nippers from God Hand that we just got. It's been a while. We had put that order in for those some months back, and they had some delays, but they just arrived. We got those up on the site, and I'll tell you, those things are workhorses. Some awesome nippers that we just got in, and you know they're very inexpensive too. Quite surprised because you know they have their what is it? The ultimate nipper. That one's like up in the like $60 range or so, but you have to be very careful using that one too, because it's you could snap those. You know, you can't really cut thick. You know, styrene. I think the most you can go is maybe a 1 millimeter. You can't do like a 2 or a 3 because that's just too thick for those blades. But this one here, I mean, man, it'll cut easy through a 2 or a 3. It's one of those ones where you just use them. It just runs through anything, and that's styrene. And then, you know, if you want to get really, you know, to the smaller pieces, smoother cuts, then, you know, you use other nippers for that there. But they're really nice, and they kind of have like a rubbery type grip too on the handle. So it just fits good on your hand. So I'm just psyched that we got those in finally. You know, those were some of the earlier ones that I had gotten when I started to step out of like the Tamiya nippers and you know, starting to go deeper into what was out in the Japanese market for tools. And those were some of the early ones. And then that later was like the stepping stone to the Ultimate Nipper and Three Peaks and just all these other brands. I was just like, I have a drawer just full of different types of nippers that I've kept through the years. You know, and I've used them, you know, through all this time, but then it comes to a point where you kind of narrow it down to which ones are your dedicated ones. But then again, you know, if something happens or if you have a particular, you know, build or project, you know, which ones to go. Because I have these two tool boxes. These were, I believe they're originally for like machinists to keep all their bits and tools for machining. And I acquired these from my friend Rudy. Shout out to him. Many years ago, he had hooked me up with one. And then, you know, later he had hooked me up with another one. And they're both identical. So I have basically like twins, you know, in these boxes. And man, I love them. You know, anywhere where I've moved or where I've gone, these things come with me, you know, and they stay in the house in my room, you know. Even if I'm not working on anything at the moment or whatever, I love opening that box. I love, you know, pulling out all the little drawers, just, you know, taking a look at what I have. And even if I'm not, like I said, if I'm not building nothing, maybe I'll pull out some stuff, clean them out, dust them out, whatever, or just organize them, make sure everything's like there, knowing like, all right, this is where all my tweezers are, all the nippers, all the chisels, everything, you know, and just kind of keep that nice and uniformed. And man, those boxes come in like super handy. I tried looking some up to see if I could find like another model just like that. And I can't seem to find anything like that. There's similar ones out there, you know, for those that have like a big enough space of a bench. You know, I recommend one of those if you can find one, you know, if you want to put it up on the bench. I keep mine on the floor, like underneath the bench. And above the bench, obviously, I have the Hobby Zone boxes all set up. That's like another part of organization for tools. So a lot of my like quick, you know, or hands-on kind of tools that I need at the moment, they're at arm's reach right there. Boom, right? Those other boxes, toolboxes, I pretty much have all my extra excess or just dedicated ones to a certain thing. So let's just say if I'm working on if I decide, okay, I'm gonna work on a Gundam, you know, I'm right now I'm geeking out on Gundams, let's say, and man, I want to build this one. So I gotta open up that drawer and start pulling out, you know, everything that I use related to Gundam building, because even the styrene that makes the Gundam kits, all these Bandai kits, are way different from the styrene that's used for model cars. It's colored, it's softer. You can sand it to clean up, you know, the areas where you cut, or to fill in seams. But then when you sand it down, you could actually get in there where you sand it down and it's nice and dull, and then start going up in grits to the finer grits, where next thing you know, you're polishing it, and you could even get to the very end where it's nice and shiny, where it almost looks like if it was painted and clear coated. It's kind of crazy, but you can actually do that with you know, with colored parts from the kit. And you know, you need, obviously, you know, dedicated tools for that, you know. But the thing is, like I said, you know, you learn some skills with that. You learn how to cut, how to clean up parts, how to scribe. You learn all these things in the world of Gundam that when you step back into model building, you take some of that information and some of those tools to your other toolbox, and now your approach is going to be a bit different when you start building a model car, especially just prepping the car itself, you know, and getting it all ready. You know, right now I'm getting ready to paint a car. It's a Toyota 11 with the Pandem kit, and this model I've had it for some time now, and I finally just got into it, where it's been primered. It was already primered from last year, and I ended up pulling that one back out. I started just, you know, checking out the whole body, trying to see, like, okay, what areas have blemishes or dirt or whatever, right? Just anything that needs to be cleaned up. And I started to see like small little particles within the primer from the last session that just needed to be knocked out. There was also some areas of flash that I could see, and now seeing it with a clear mind, you know, almost like it feels like new eyeballs on it, because it's been some time since the last time I worked on it. I was able to notice all these things, so I just took my time and I started to get the 400 grit sandpaper, and I started to lightly sand those areas and get all that done. The reason I wanted to go light on it was just because I didn't want to go backwards. I had already put in a lot of work into the car, putting all the pieces together and everything, that this is just like minor stuff. I knew that by sanding it, I was going to smooth out some areas that were going to need to be reprimered. So I just wanted to go really light so I don't go backwards and end up like, oh man, I'm like scratching, I'm putting some deep scratches in this car. I got to do more work. So I got all that stuff done. And finally, then I waited for the next day. I did a reprimer session of the body, and I started off by primering the interior of the body, getting under the wheel wells, inside the roof, inside the door panels, everything from the inside, just spraying that out. And I waited a moment. Once all that was dry, I flipped the model back around, and I was able to primer the exterior. So all those areas where I primered, I got all that out, and I let that car chill outside under the sun for some hours, and then brought it back in and then just put it away. in this little like closet that I use. And finally, the following day, I pulled it out to check it out, and I just did like a really light wet sand with the 600 grit. So once I had that all set up, I looked at the body, everything looked smooth to my eyes, like, all right, cool. There is going to be obviously like a little bit of tooth with the 600. It's not going to be too smooth, but for me, 600, it always get good results with that. So finally got it in on that, and now it's just chilling. It's just waiting. I have it in the case, just waiting. So my plans are to use House of Color Pavo Purple. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And that's the color I'm going to go with. It's pretty much a metallic purple. So the whole body is going to be that color. I'm not going to, do two different colors, like let's say on the white body, like on the fenders, to the body. No, it's all going to be one color. It's all going to be uniform to one color. I originally wanted to save that color for this other Cedric that I was working on, but now, I got my eyes already, like, I made my decision, like, nah, I got to do it on this Pandem body. I want this one to stand out. So we're gonna be going with that right there. And once that's painted, I'm gonna wait maybe like a day or like a few days, and when I get another opportunity, I'm gonna go ahead and clear coat that car, seal it up. So I'll do like a light clear coat the first time around, and then after that's all done, I'm gonna wet sand it, get that clear nice and dull, and then I'm gonna decide if I want to put water-side decals on it, on the exterior. I'm still on the fence. I'm not sure, but I might. And if so, then that'll be the time to do it. Let that cure up, and then get it ready for the next clear coat, the final clear coat session right there. But that's what I got right now. I've been kind of taking my time on this one, or somewhat lagging it, because I honestly thought, man, I'm gonna. Back then when I was working on it, I was so amped, like, dude, I'm gonna get this one done soon. But then I got busy, just stuff came up, and there's just no way, and I don't want to be doing something where I can't, or maybe the motivation's not there, the inspiration's not there, because then it almost feels forced, and I'm not going to enjoy the build. I'd rather do it when I can, to enjoy the build more during the process as I'm doing it. But in my mind, I already visually see it. I already see like how it's going to come out from the exterior. I'm still, trying to think of ways to be careful when I clear coat the front, like the grille and the front bumper, because there's some lights, like some side marker lights that are going to be popped in, and I don't want to spray too much clear where it's going to just build up, and there's just going to be no way for me to squeeze these in there, So I have to be very careful on that. I'm going to try to go really light on the front end, and those are challenges, but it's also like part of what is going to really test my skills, because if I get too comfortable with just spraying clear the same way all the time, where all I want is a gloss finish, and I'm just expecting that all the time, but there's some areas where it shouldn't be like that. I got to be careful, and I also got to be aware of, like, all right, I got to build up the practice of going lighter in these areas right here, so this way I don't run into those issues, fitment issues, and really get to clear on those areas where you want the shine to be. I mean, most of the times we want that to be on the roof, on the hood, the trunk, fenders. if there's a lot of curves on that car, the doors, things like that. But then all these small little other areas, you don't really need too much clear, to make it look super thick, like glass, like on there. Just because, there's already a lot going on in there. It's very busy with the design of the bumpers that it's somewhat not needed. And, you don't want to overdo it where you're like, man, I can't even fit none of this stuff fits like anymore. The cool thing about this kit is that the glass fits from the inside, so you can pop that glass in from the inside. So I don't really have to worry about the exterior. On the window panels right there, I could just like pop that in and bam, we're all set. But that's one that I want to get done for this year. And I'm going to look at what alternatives I'm going to use for the interior for the purple. I'm going to obviously look at some examples of things, because right now there's many choices. I mean, I know for the most part, I always go with like a gray or like a black, for interiors, or the dashes and all that. But there's more options. When I go on X, formerly known as Twitter, I do come across other modelers from Japan who post up their builds and their interiors, and I do notice that a lot of them use the Tamiya paint, Rattlecan paint, but for their interiors they're actually using like aircraft paint from Tamiya, because I know Tamiya has this whole other series of aircraft paint where even on the bottle or the can you could see the image of an aircraft on there. And when I started to see that, and then seeing the interiors of their cars, I was like, oh, wait a minute, this looks nice, because it's not glossy. When they're laying it on there, it's not like glossy paint. It looks more like a matte finish, or I don't want to say semi-gloss, because I don't really see a shine, but it looks nice. It looks very natural. That even like if you spray that, you could even weather it a little, if you wanted to add a little panel line. So some of the colors they have is like, they have a lot of tans, a lot of browns. There's also different shades of like grays or even blues, like blues going into grays, that I'm like, dang, that does look like more like something you would see in an interior car right there. And I know I've picked up some cans on my site to make available, and there's people that pick them up, and when I see those, I think those people know about that. It's almost, I don't know if it's a little secret or what, but I almost get the feeling like, like I wonder, because I remember never carrying them, and then I ordered specific colors thinking like these would be great for an interior. This is something I'd use on an interior, and then later, people pick them up, and I was wondering, it makes me think, I wonder if they know, I don't know. And yeah, the more I look at the catalog, I go, damn, there's a lot of different shades of stuff that can be used for interior pieces right there. Especially, I don't know, like if you're, like I saw there's this really nice lowrider that's like, it's a caddy that's blue, and for the interior they went with like this like tan color, but it looks kind of orangey, like an orangey tan color. It looks beautiful. Like, that's like, dude, like the color obviously on the exterior pops, and then you see that interior, oh my god, it's like, it just pops even more. It just makes that car even more beautiful, And I know for the most part, when I'm painting my cars, I tend to go with the darker colors. And if I'm going with like a dark exterior color and then another dark color, like black inside, then all the details are gonna be lost. Like it's just on the inside, it's gone. Like no one's gonna see it. But if you go more for a lighter color inside, then it's gonna stand out more. It's gonna, when someone hovers over your model and looks in there, they're gonna be able to see what's going on inside, So those, I'm gonna be getting more of those, and I'll post them in my stories, so you guys can check those out right there if you're curious about that. But the Tamiya rattle cans, they do make some really nice, like, neat interior, and it's cool because when you're doing like interior pieces and you want to lay some paint on there and you just want to do it fast, it's nice that you're able to have that color in a can, and you can just shake up the can, you know, get the part, spray it, and it's just like, it's cool, you're ready, you know, like, let it dry. From there you could, you know, once it's all dry, bring it in the house and start detailing it the way you want it, right? All those small little parts and everything, start detailing all that with your brush and or bare metal foil, you know, get all up in that right there. But yeah, those there's just so many options out there, so many like cool little things. And we also started getting these new, not that they're new, they've been out, but for us they're new in the store. Hasagawa makes these like file sets, and there's like a beginner entry level set. There's also like a professional. That's what it says on the on the thing, professional file set. And then there's also another one that's more of a wider range of a file set that they make available there. And we just started acquiring those, so those are coming in. There's also going to be a huge restock of Top Studio for you guys that are like Top Studio heads that just like, you know, geek out on this stuff and use it. The last batch that I got, you know, a lot of the pieces in there, I sold out of a lot of them, and I'm running low. I have a lot of the fittings still available, little toggle switches, things like that. But there are going to be, there's these new like tubings that they just released. They're clear tubings. So I've seen Giuseppe and other model builders where they like to use these like clear tubings, and I mean, I don't know how these guys do it, but they make it look like there's liquid inside, like yellow, you know, like the oil or something just like running through there. It looks really nice. They're going to come in various sizes. You can use them in 124, 125 scale, 112 scale for those that build like the motorcycles as well. All that stuff, we're gonna be getting that in soon. You know, I would say, I mean, we're already at the end of January, so I would estimate next month in February, do expect that there is going to be Top Studio stuff coming in, just a wide range of things, but some of the new stuff also, because they did notify us, you know, they had some new stuff coming in, so we're going to definitely jump on that and get that to you guys, because I do see that there is a lot of people using that on their builds, and man, they do some cool stuff. That's for sure. Man, what else? So this Thursday, man, the excitement doesn't stop. So this Thursday, shipment coming in of kits, and this is like, these are going to be some new kits. These are some new ones from Aoshima. One of them being the Aventador. This is the box art on this one. It's like it looks like a metallic, like gray with black, like a black hood, and it's the Aventador. It's like a special edition, like a volume 1 or version 1. Sorry, volume. I'm not thinking about like albums. Version 1. Later there'll be a version 2. But this one here, the first time we get it in, it just dropped like last year, like late last year in Japan, and it's making its way to the US and to our doors. So we're getting that in, making that one available. And man, it's right now, I feel like Lambos have been hot right now. especially from what I've noticed, like on our part, we've been getting different Lambos, and I mean, people have been picking them up, and they're really fun to build. The first time when I went ahead and built mine from Aoshima, I was like tripping on just some of the new tooling they added in there to make you drop the car, to camber the wheels, to just get it really, really low, right? Where that technology, I hope that they start to implement that in all their new kits, especially those like Toyota Celsiors, the ones you want to do more of a VIP vibe. You want to camber up them wheels, you want to drop it as low as you want, those would be a perfect fit. Not saying that they need to do it to all their cars, but just like do it to specific cars, things that are coming out. But if they did that, man, it would definitely switch everything up, like in the game. It would, for lowering cars. It would definitely help out, especially the stance in a lot of cars. And it also makes me wonder, like, what if they even sold that set of just like separate, right? Or I don't know, I don't want to say like, yo, buy a Lambo kit, take the bottom parts off and use them on another kit. You could do that, but then again, you're gonna just be wasting a whole Lambo kit. You're not even gonna be able to build it the way it's intended to be built. But if there was a way to get those parts extra, how crazy would that be to just be able to put that, on like a Fujimi kit or a Hasegawa, like anything outside of Aoshima or within Aoshima, and just be able to like really drop your car. Like, that would be so dope. That'd be crazy. It would definitely help out a lot. But then again, I know a lot of people like to get tested in their skills. People like to be, to know, hey, I still got it. I know I could drop this car. I know I could lower it. I know I could camber it. And it could do all these things. So, I respect that as well. But those, the Lambo kits are just, they're really nice, man. The Liberty Walks, especially, all these Liberty Walk editions that they keep dropping. The next one we're expected to get is the Murcielago. Man, I know there's a few people that got in them. Model Kit Chris, Slowly Models. I know them too from, out in the UK and Australia. They both received one from Aoshima. And, I don't know who else is getting one, but man, like, it's exciting to see these guys get these kits, open their boxes, because, I mean, these dudes put in the work. These dudes, like, do their thing, and it's just like, it just looks really nice. The presentation, the outcome, and just seeing, like, the steps of everything coming through. So it's like, it's really cool to see that. We are going to be getting that kit in as well. We're not doing any pre-orders, though, in case, if you're interested in a pre-order. We're not, because we don't know when they're going to show up, So we would much rather just wait, have the listing up so that it's there. It will say sold out because there's no quantity. We haven't received anything. But just wait until we get those in. And then once we get those in, they'll be available. We'll let people know that those are coming in, and then once they drop, you can order them there at scaleriders.com. But we're definitely getting those in. I'm trying to see like what else I can get in that's that we normally don't carry in the site. Just trying to get some different stuff in. I know we do carry a lot of Aoshima, we do carry a lot of Fujimi, Hasegawa, Nunu Hobby. We do carry a lot of that stuff, but we're trying to get within those lines some stuff that's different, some stuff that we normally don't carry, and Oh man, I see like this really cool Nissan Z right now, just cruising through. I don't know if you can hear them, but yeah, we're in a little bit of traffic right now. We're getting through, but my eyes just got distracted right now by this car. Let's see if you can hear it. You hear that? Yeah, you probably can't hear it. I'll try to get close to it. It's loud. Oh damn. Oh damn. I think you guys heard that. I'll put my window up. But but yeah, that thing looks low. So like I was saying earlier, Murcielago's coming out, dropping through the Liberty Walks. Oh yeah, variation of kits coming in. There are some like Formula One kits that I want to get. They are in like 124 scale, and I know people like to build those in a larger scale or whatever, but hey, they're available in 124, and when I see some of those liveries, they look dope, you know? I don't really know too much of that world, right? That's still like new for me, right? It might be new for a lot of people, but then there's others that are like, they're not new. That's like, you know, they know that, you know, and I want to carry some of that stuff, you know, because who knows, maybe I might want to build one or someone's going to build them, you know, because any kit that you go after to build, you're going to learn, you know, you're going to learn something from it, you know, and I do want to get some of that. I also want to get more of our like motorcycle kits. I want to get more of those. You know, this last NNL, you know, I was thinking about this the other day, is I saw like, I don't know, maybe like 10 or 12 motorcycles. I'm pretty sure there was more, but there was like at least like 3 that caught my attention by the details and everything. I mean, all these bikes were like beautiful. They were all so dope. But there was some that, like, especially these Tamiya ones that I saw, that just, I was like, dang, like, it had me staring at them for a while, you know? Looking at the carbon fiber that was applied to these, just looking at the hoses, all the little bolts, all that stuff, the exhaust, everything that was like on these bikes that just made them look so realistic. And you know, for the most part, when you see these motorcycles built, you know, they're obviously a different scale from a car, so you know, they look bigger when you see them next to a model car, and it's almost like I can see how they could get overlooked. Like, you see them and you're like, oh, dope, but you don't really like look at it until you get really, really close, and then you're like, oh man, like, check that out. That's like, it just has so much to it, you know. And man, there was some that really, it got me excited, and I was just thinking like, man, I know out there there's like I was just imagining like a crew of dudes that like just build bikes, like that's all they do, and like they speak in code, and it's all about the bikes, and they get together once in a while. They don't really like mention they don't even go on Instagram. They don't go on the internet. They're just behind the scenes. They build these like super dope, badass bikes, and then they just bust out at these shows. I don't know. That's where my mind was going at when I saw these bikes. I was like, dang, these are dope. These are super cool. So I don't know, but I do want to get some parts and stuff like that for that, because I know we do get like the fork kits from Tamiya that they make specifically for their motorcycles. But you got to go more than the forks, you know? And I know Tamiya doesn't make that. You know, Top Studio does, and there's some other companies that do. do those things. But that's the thing. It's like we gotta expand on those things, so this way people that are into that know, and they could pick some of that stuff up, in our site, and that way they're not like, oh man, where do I get this, or oh, do I have to like keep ordering overseas or whatever. I could just get it here, homeland. Man, this coffee got cold quick. What the heck? I made a coffee at the house, like the instant coffee, and I don't put nothing in my coffee. I just drink it black. Like I don't know. I used to put sugar and creamer and all this stuff. Like I remember going to a friend's house and they're like, "Hey, you want a coffee?" No, I'm fine. And normally it's funny because when like, I don't know if it's tradition, but I don't think it is. It's just, typically when Mexican families, they offer you like, oh, you want something to eat, like something small to eat, and everything's cute. Everything is they make it sound cute and small, but it's not like that. It's huge. Everything's huge, right? So they'd be like, hey, do you want like a little coffee or something? And then you go, yeah, sure, yeah, little. You're thinking, yeah, a little cup, little shot glass or something, right? And then it's like big old cup coffee. Oh, do you want some sugar? Yeah, sure. All kinds, like big old scoop of sugar. Oh, you like it sweet? Here's some creamer. It's like, dang. And I remember I was like younger, just drinking coffee, or my mom, here's some sugar. All kinds of sugar. Dang. And that's how I would drink my coffee. Like it had to be sugared up, right? And in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, the coffee, it's doing its job. It's keeping me awake or whatever. Yeah, it's all that sugar. And then I had friends that would just drink it just straight, just black, like that. And I'd be like, dang, dude, I gotta try black. And I tried it and I didn't like it. I was like, oh man, that tastes weird. But then one time I had coffee and there was no creamer, no sugar, and I just saw this cup. It was just like hot, and I was like, I could just see the smoke coming out of it, right? And I was like, dang. And I really wanted coffee. I guess I'm just gonna have to drink it. So I just kind of let it chill a little, let it chill. I didn't want to drink it too hot, and I started sipping it, and I could taste like the roast or whatever that type of coffee it was. I think it was Colombian coffee at the time. And I was like, man, this has a good flavor. And I smashed it, and I was like, man, this coffee was good. It wasn't so bad. And then later I had another one, and then I switched it. I had like a whole another flavor, and I was like, dude, this was good too. And then I just was like, you know what? Like, let me just get the regular Folgers instant coffee. Man, I forgot the Folgers. I think, didn't Folgers have like a theme song? I wish I knew it, because I'd sing it right now if I could, or hum it or whatever. But I got the instant, boom, heat up the water, boom, get a spoonful of this, and just drink it. And I'd be like, oh man, this is good, right? And no sugar. I just was like, I'm done with the sugar stuff. I don't want to be drinking no sugar. And I just got so used to it. So like, if I have coffee at different places, whether I make a stop somewhere at a coffee shop to get a coffee, or a friend offers me coffee at their house, or we have it at my parents, or wherever, friend's house, anywhere, and I just drink it black, I could taste the flavor in whatever type of coffee it was made by. And dude, I had this coffee a while, like last year, and man, this one was given to me, Scale Model Cars, all the way in Hawaii. He gave me this, and I was like, dude, like, what's this? And it was like a bag, right, with coffee in it from Hawaii. And I was like, I've never had this one. I was like, let me try it. So I prepped it, boom, boom, got it ready, had my cup. Dude, that thing was so good. Like, it might have lasted me like 2 weeks. Got back gone. Like, smashed it, dude. And then we're at NNL. And then Scale Model Cars brought me a new bag. He re-upped me with the new one. He surprised me. He didn't tell me. He was just like, here you go. I was like, dude. And I've been having that too. Like in the mornings, I got these like these other little cups where I have to pack it in there with that, and then I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that coffee is like bomb. It's like super good. Love it. Thank you, bro. It's like so dope. I might have to just start ordering it online or something from Hawaii. That way I don't keep that way I don't bother you. Hey dog, I need more of this. But what was I gonna say? So yeah, right now though I'm driving and I'm like sipping it. I don't mind drinking it cold either, you know. But I'm just saying, damn, this thing got cold. I was just kind of letting it sit there as I'm like talking and recording this episode. Yeah, it's almost done though. I gotta finish it, but that's it. Just one cup and that's it. No more. I don't drink no more than a cup. You know, sometimes I drink it at night before I go to sleep, and it doesn't even keep me up though. If anything, I drink it, I relax a little bit, like 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I get drowsy. Boom, sleep. And I just go to bed, and I knock out completely. Like, I'm just like out. It doesn't keep me up. I don't know. I know people say, oh yeah, coffee keeps me up, and that. It doesn't do it to me. I don't know. It might be like a mental thing or what, but I know for me, I just drink it for what it is, you know. And but sometimes I tell myself, all right, I'm not going to drink coffee this week or 2 weeks, and then I get off it, and then when I come back to it, I'm like, all right, cool, you know. I try not to. There was a time I was just drinking coffee every day, like. Then I was like, nah, I gotta stop that. I gotta have some self-control with that. So it's like a switch, like on and off on it. But when I do these long drives, I like to definitely have a cup for sure. So this way keeps me warm. Because it's been cold lately, you know. But back to building. So these wanted to share a little it's not a secret, maybe a tip. Let's just say it's a little tip. So Aoshima makes detail up parts, right? And there's a Huracan set that they make for one of their like original Lamborghini Huracan kits, right? The box art, it's a green one. It's a green car that's on the cover, a green Lamborghini Huracan, right? And that's, you know, one of their earlier kits. They come out with that one once in a while. They'll print it. They kind of haven't, just because they know that the demand right now has been Liberty Walk. It's been pretty heavy. They've been going more in that direction, right? And they've been having a lot of success with that. So with that said, when I was building my Liberty Walk Huracan, you know, I was almost done with it. You know, I remember using the Zoom On mesh to cut all that out, all that mesh out, like the honeycomb mesh, to fill in those areas, because I wanted to remove the plastic that's emulating the mesh in the grill, you know, and in other parts throughout the body. I wanted to get rid of that, so this way I could just put my very own mesh from Zoom On, and to make it look a little bit more of that realistic, more depth look, right? So started doing all that work and everything, and then when I would see the car mocked up, I had it, you know, on my bench, and I would look at it and be like, all right. And I was looking at all my cars, and I was telling myself, all right, Liberty Walk GTR has disc brakes. My The EF9 Honda Civic has disc brakes. These are the zoom-on ones I used. I was like, how is this car not going to have any disc brakes on the car? These wheels are huge. You know, they're probably, like 20-inch wheels. And you could look at the brake pads, like, stand out. The calipers stand out. And even the brake, the discs, right, they're very visible. So I was like, you know, I'm already using little rivets on this thing. I'm using all this detail in the car, but what size disc brakes? I don't have that big size disc brakes, and I put the zoom-on ones, and those are small. Like, they don't even make them that big, right? They're not even that big. It's gonna look weird. So I was kind of looking online, and then I saw that they had some for the Huracan, and then I started like looking at I started Googling images, and I found like a scan of like the instructions, like the breakdown of what was on the sheet, and I was like, oh man, that right there, they look like the same exact shape, right? And I started to tell myself, they have to fit. They're Huracan. Why would they go out of their way to like spend more money to create a whole new mold just for that small part? You know, it wouldn't make any sense, right? I could see it more being for the exterior body, but not for the what do you call it? For the disc brakes. And just the shape of it, like the back, the rear brakes to the front brakes, I was like, that matches. So I took the risk. I was like, you know what? I'll buy it. I'll put them on there. If they fit, oh my, perfect. We're good. If it don't fit, then oh well. I'll just have to save those for if I ever build that original one that was released, and I'll use it on that. So got it in. I polished them and everything. And well, before I polished them, I did the fit, and they fit fine, perfect, like a glove. So happy. Pulled them out, polished them, put some panel lining on them, scuffed them up a little, like, you know, sanded them a little when I polished them, put them back on. And man, these things like it just looks more realistic, right? Like, I really like the look of it, and it made the model for me. I was just happy. Like, I'm satisfied. Yes. So that's on there. And I started to think, like, you know, this can be used. If you're looking for disc brakes, you can use that. But then I started looking at some of the areas where I used the zoom-on mesh, right? And I realized, man, I actually could have used even some of these grill pieces here that were already pre-cut to fill in those areas. And even there was these one parts that went on the side, like behind the doors, right? When you open up the doors, it's like in the bottom little corners that it had like a honeycomb vibe, where right there you could have used the mesh, but I didn't, because I was just, at that time I was just like, well, I don't have anything. I don't know, even if I cut something, how's it going to hold in there, you know? So I just decided to just basically use the plastic one, right? But then what happens is, once you put that, then you layer another piece of the body kit on your car, and then that's it. That piece isn't going to come off no more, right? So when I looked at this one, I was like, dude, the parts are right there. I could have used these. And I was like, man, I was like kicking myself, you know? But it was already too late, because I had already glued all that stuff on. I was already beyond that. That step was already gone. So, you know, there's nothing I could do. But it's one of those things that, like, if I ever built another Huracan, that's definitely, bam, what I'm going to go with right there with that. For the Aventador, I believe they also do another one. There's another Aoshima detail upset. It sounded like I said upset, but detail up space and then set. They also do one for the hook. So I'm very curious now as to like, maybe I can also use that particular one for this. So I'm gonna do more research on that, and if that's so, then I'll end up acquiring it and testing it out, and I'll let you guys know. But man, there's just so many like neat things that are dropping. There's also these Salvino kits. You know, they do a lot of the racing kits, the NASCAR and all that. They have these nice Camrys that they've been putting out, and I've been getting them, you know, in the store. So they're these nice. Man, I gotta get my sunglasses out now. Now the sun is in my direction since I curved around. All right, let me throw these on real quick. So they've been busting out with these Camry kits, and I mean, they do have the race livery and all that if you want to build it that way. But it almost looks like if you do some body work to it, fill in some areas, cut some stuff out, you can actually possibly, you know, instead of a race car, make it just like a regular car and give it a nice paint job, slam it, maybe camber some of those wheels, and tint the windows, paint the interior black, you know, because you're gonna have to want to hide the interior because it's gonna be more like race. But we're going more for the static look, that exterior look, right? We don't really care about, you know, there's really not gonna be no engine and all that. It's just gonna be more of the exterior look. And I think those would look nice. I think they'd look pretty dope right there. But if you do want to build it the raceway, we do also have those as well. So that's also new. We're gonna keep getting those in. They come in the different liveries for those. I think we have them all except for one. I think we're missing one, but we will be getting that one in later. But I know we do have them all the ones with the different liveries, and I mean, even they catch my attention. I'm like, man, like, I feel like I want to build one of them right there. I mean, there's so many kits I want to build, but I know that I don't have the time to build them all, so I have to be very specific as to like which ones to dedicate my time to build when I do have that time, you know. But hey, whatever you guys are building, just when you guys post it, just tag me, especially you know, if it's on your post or your stories or whatever. Just tag me so I can reshare it on there on my stories. And on Instagram, you know, if you want to look at the latest, like some of the latest stuff that we get in, a lot of the videos I've been like busting out with. If you guys follow me there and you guys see the videos, you'll see that I do this process where I'm just like stacking things on top of each other. A lot of those items are items that I'm shipping out. Those are all items that are for customers that are going out. So that gives me an opportunity to showcase some of the items that I have in hand. They're at the store available that's going out. So if you do see that, I am recording those daily or every other day, you know, depending on the flow of orders. I do try my best to record as much as possible to get the word out, and some of it has to do with, you know, showcasing that I do have the actual items, because, you know, there's a lot, you know, I was using a lot of stock photography, stock photos that are, you know, that I get from the companies when their new products are out or coming soon or whatever. And you know, a lot of these photos, you know, they get them professionally done. They look nice and clean and everything. But then again, you know, I know, you know, my customers or people that follow me on Instagram or social media or even listen to this podcast or just know me in person or whatever, have seen me at a show, whatever, or etc. Let's say, they know I'm legit. They know this whole thing's legit. Items I have, if I have them in stock, they're available, and I ship them out in a timely manner. You get them in a timely manner, and it's never of like, oh, I don't know, or none of that. It's serious. It's a business and everything. And I was using stock photos, and in my mind, I started to think, what? Like, who isn't else using these stock photos? Everybody's using stock photos. Everybody who has a store, and there might be some stores that are not legit. There might be some stores that probably don't come through or whatever, or even these things are up on eBay or they're on Amazon, whatever. They're everywhere, right? And it's like, I know it's going to take a long time for me to be like, oh, I got to take photos of everything. On my site, yeah, everything's going to be like some stock photos, but at least from what I promote in any of my social media outlets, my goal this year is like, I got to go more video, and I got to go more for people to actually see the things in the videos of what I have in hand there, in the site, because I don't want to just keep posting like one image of a stock item and that's it. I want people to physically see the item for what it is there, and then that way they see, oh man, like, he does have it. It's right there. It's not an illusion. It's not fake. This stuff is there. Because I whenever I'm into something, I geek out on something, whatever things I follow their social medias, they do use like stock photos or whatever. I mean, I know they're legit, and I'm a customer, so I buy from them. But also, like, if I see like records, let's just use that as an example. I see a stock photo of a vinyl record, like, oh, it just came out, they're available. I'm like, dude, I want that record. Boom, I'll order it. But when I start seeing videos of them flipping through the records, like, oh, check out all these records we just got in, and it's like boom, 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 they're showing you all the records as they're flipping through them. I'm like, woof, they really got them in, like I'm putting in my order like right now, because I want that. I've been looking for that record, and just going about it that way. That's just me. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but let me know. I'm very curious. Do you guys want me to keep doing the videos, stock photos? Like, what do you guys prefer? But later, I think I'll be going more in depth into videos and stuff. And also, I had mentioned about a while back doing like a pack of tools for those that are just like getting started. Or those that are already been doing it for years, but maybe want to step up, upgrade the tools, out with the old and with the new, or just maybe getting in some of the new and comparing or enhancing the toolbox. And I just, those final pieces, tidbits of things that I need, they arrived, so I just need to now put the pieces all together, start putting together a pack and grouping them, taking a photograph, doing a video, and getting that on the website for people to see. I think that's going to be pretty dope for people to see that's available. Because sometimes I get hit up questions, which one do you recommend, or I want to get into this, getting started, I don't know what to get, and this way I point you in the right direction and be like, bam, here it is. Because you don't want to recommend someone like terrible tools, Dan, TT, terrible tools, like terrible twos. You don't you don't want to recommend that, because then you're just off in a bad start. It's like starting off the day bad. You don't want to do that. You want to recommend people some good stuff so they could get into it, see some progress, get over those walls, see that progression, and go from there. But yeah, not the terrible tools. Well, those will come out later. But hey, dudes, I'm gonna let you guys know. Let you guys go. I gotta take off. This is 65 Locs checking out Scale Riders. For everything, check out scaleriders.com. If you guys are looking for some t-shirts for this new year of 2024, we do got some shirts up that you could order, different colors, different sizes at 124limited.com, 124ltd.com. So check it out. All right, guys, peace out. Episode 229, and I'm out.